I find that if I hold something, it kind of helps with my thing, like I just have to hold something, and if I hold it and kind of rub it, I feel a little bit more relaxed. Hello, welcome back to Matriarch Astrology. I'm Ileana Reyes, and as you can see, we are still on our spooky content, although this topic is a little bit different than my paranormal video that I had posted. So in today's video, we are going to be diving deep into the topic of psychic abilities and mediumship in a birth chart. We'll explore how planetary placements and aspects can influence these spiritual gifts. And let's journey into the mystical side of astrology. So the first thing I want to talk about is the water signs in the 8th, 12th, or 4th houses. Now, I just want to say a quick disclaimer that I'm not saying that if you do not have any of these astrological placements or aspects that you are not able to tap in or be a medium or psychic. I believe that everybody is very intuitive and has their own psychic abilities and are able to tap in. This is just something that I would look at if I'm looking at particularly a person with mediumistic abilities or psychic abilities. I would look at certain aspects to hone in and see how much more easier it might be for that individual to tap into their intuitive and psychic gifts. So first I want to start off with the fire rising signs. So that would be our Sagittarius rising, Aries risings, and Leo risings. And the reason I mention that is because I do go by whole sign, and in whole sign that would make the 12th house, the 8th house, and the 4th house water houses. So for example, I am an Aries rising, so my 12th house is Pisces, my 4th house is Cancer, and my 8th house is Scorpio. This often indicates a strong intuitive connection to the unseen realms. So people with these placements could have vivid dreams, premonitions, or even direct encounter with paranormal entities. So when we're talking about these houses, let's say the 8th house. Now we do know that the 8th house governs death, rebirth, and transformation. So with a water sign here, you're more likely to be sensitive to spiritual energies. And the 4th house represents home and ancestry. So a water sign here might point to a intuitive connection to the home or ancestral lineage. And by that, I mean being able to have something that's within the family. So if a grandmother or a great grandmother have a specific ability or they're a medium and they're passing it down, that's something that's more likely to be passed down to you through your lineage. Now, the 12th house is tied to the unconscious and the unseen realms. So a water sign ruling this house often enhances psychic abilities and the ability to tap into the collective unconscious. You also want to look to the rulers of these houses and to see if those rulers are in water signs as well. So for example, if you had 12th house in the sign of Libra, you want to see what sign Venus is in. If she's in Cancer, then that is a water sign, and that definitely qualifies here when it comes to these abilities. In general, these water houses will typically make people inclined towards divination, towards mediumship, towards psychic abilities, towards specific things like tarot, and even energy healing. So again, if you have a water sign ruling these houses, you may be a natural empath or healer as well. The next one I would look at for sure would be the 8th house, and particularly the moon. Now, it doesn't have to be that the 8th house is a water sign, but that would give it, let's say, for example, like extra points. See something as being potentially stronger if you had, let's say, a moon in Pisces in the 8th house with, let's say, another planet, but just the moon itself in the 8th house in the sign of Pisces, you get a lot of extra points. Also, moon in Aquarius is a big one too when it comes to psychic abilities. Aquarius is linked to that energy of Uranus and like getting sudden insights, sudden experiences and connections that are not really expected in a way. But let's stay on topic, moon in the 8th house. The moon in the 8th house is one of the most powerful psychic indicators in a chart, as well as paranormal experiences. However, I did do a video on paranormal experiences and you can watch that video here. But in this one, we're just talking about psychic abilities and mediumship. So again, the first thing I would look at would be the moon in the 8th house. And that is because our moon governs our emotions and our intuitive abilities, while the 8th house deals with death, transformation, and the supernatural. So having the moon in the 8th house could signify that you have emotional sensitivities. So you may pick up on energies in haunted locations, be it graveyards, or you just could feel connected to spiritual energies. Either way, your emotional intuition becomes a gateway to the unseen world. With the moon in the 8th, you can also have specific dreams and visions. Many people with this placement report having vivid dreams, often involving messages from passed on loved ones, or even messages from their guides. So make sure that you watch out or just pay close attention to your dreams if you do have this placement. Another really strong thing we see with moon in the 8th is an ability to have natural mediumship. And by natural, that might mean that it just comes a little bit easier or a little bit more natural to tap in. So these people may find themselves naturally in tune with spirits, whether through dreams or intuitive flashes. Communication with the other side could just seem effortless. Next up, we have Pluto in the 8th house. Now, I have Pluto in the 8th house in the sign of Scorpio, so it's very strongly placed here. And this energy can bring in an intense fascination with the supernatural and hidden mysteries. Now, growing up as a millennial, I used to watch Unsolved Mysteries on the TV right after all the cartoons were over. I was into it. I loved watching ghost shows, anything paranormal. I was in it, like not just paranormal, but also UFOs, mysterious things in Egypt. All those things interest me as a very young girl. I'm talking about 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. And of course, this placement is also very linked to mediumship, a deep connection to the spiritual world, and can even have karmic ties to haunted places. So Pluto amplifies the 8th house natural affinity towards transformation, as well as the occult. And this can lead to powerful paranormal encounters and psychic experiences. Now with the 8th house also comes a strong healing power. People with Pluto in the 8th can use their connection to the unseen to help other people heal, especially emotionally and spiritually. So think of like shamanism here. This could be also using type of medicinal medicines, herbs, or even things like ayahuasca. These type of spiritual medicines can really help people heal on an emotional and energetic level. Many people that have this placement could become natural healers or mediums. Next up, we have Pluto in the 12th house. So having Pluto in the 12th house can take psychic abilities to an unconscious level. That is because this house also covers the subconscious, hidden realms, and past lives as well. So here we'll see subconscious connections. So you may have prophetic dreams or experience psychic attacks, or even feel drawn to explore past life memories. And this could be through past life regressions. This could also be a type of sleep paralysis situation that goes on here in the 12th. So being able to spend time also in solitude with the 12th house may really help with psychic and spiritual growth. Because the 12th house is naturally more of a house where you are in solitude, having Pluto here may naturally call you to spend some time in solitude. And this could be so that you're able to process intense spiritual experiences. Now, that's just something that might be helpful. So that doesn't have to be that you're isolated away for days on end. Just even taking time to be alone in, let's say, an office or a room that you have for yourself. It's your meditative space where you're able to meditate and go really deep in a healing and transformative way for yourself and help you balance out your emotions and also your experiences would be really helpful with Pluto here in the 12th. It could really help amplify your psychic skills. Next one we have up is the moon in the 12th house. So having the moon in the 12th house could make the boundary between your conscious and unconscious mind a bit blurred, often resulting in psychic sensitivity. So with this placement, you might have really intuitive dreams. So this could be like having prophetic dreams, offering insight from other realms, or even from spirit guides. There's a deep connection also here to spirits. And often people with this placement report feeling presence from ghosts or just feeling energies around them. While this can be a bit unsettling at times, it often provides comfort and deep spiritual understanding. And that understanding is just knowing that you're not alone, or knowing that there is help or assistance, especially if you're able to tap in and connect with them, and just feeling a little bit more connected to other energies around you. And having the moon here, you also want to make sure that you're balancing your sensitivities. So make sure that you're grounding yourself. This could be through meditation or through just using certain crystals like tourmaline or hematite to help ground you, especially when you're sleeping. This could really help you to explore your abilities while also feeling a sense of security. The next I would look at would be Neptune aspecting either the sun or the moon. And this could be a conjunction, trine, sextile, or square. So aspects between the sun and Neptune are really strong indicators of psychic abilities, as well with the moon. Another one would be Uranus to look at as well. So Neptune or Uranus aspecting the sun and moon are really strong ones, especially Neptune with the moon or Uranus with the moon. So with the conjunction, you'll see an amplifying energy of psychic insight and spiritual connection. So these people might receive prophetic dreams or intuitive downloads. I have Neptune conjunct my sun within 1 degree, and I've had plenty of prophetic dreams, and I've had very odd, strange dreams, but I also have Uranus aspecting as well. And I do know that I get just certain things that are downloaded in my dreams, and I get a lot of messages through those dream states. Also through psychedelic experiences, I received a lot of messages and understandings in those altered states of consciousness. Now, when we look at trines and sextiles, we're looking at a more harmonious aspect. So this is something that just flows a little bit easier, making it easier to access psychic awareness, being able to trust your gut instincts. Now, when we're looking at opposition and squares, we're looking at a more harder aspect, a little bit more friction, or some balancing that needs to take place, especially when it comes to the opposition. So with a square or opposition, you might have some confusion, and this can make it hard to discern reality from intuition. It's kind of like second guessing yourself a lot, not really trusting what you're getting. But with this, it also offers you an ability to grow and be able to learn to trust and grow in your intuitive ability. So regardless of the aspect, people with strong Neptune sun and Neptune moon aspects are often drawn to spiritual practices and psychic work. Now, of course, as you can see here, I am doing the occult type work, which astrology falls under the occult type of workings. So on top of that, I do tarot, I do intuitive readings, and I am very linked to spiritual practices. So with these harder aspects, learning to ground yourself can really help you navigate these energies without becoming overwhelmed. Now, as I wrap up, I do also want to say really quickly that there are a lot of more aspects and things to look at when it comes to psychic abilities. When I'm looking, I'll usually look at where the rulers are of these houses, and I see where their connections are being made. So let's say, for example, if you had the ruler of the 8th in the 3rd, this could be that you're wanting to talk about these type of topics. You want to learn about them, especially when it comes to early childhood. Without giving too much detail, I do know that topics about death or talking or even connecting with spiritual energies could be something here that is more likely, and you could be able to hear spirits talk to you. You could be able to communicate because that 3rd house is amplifying that communication. Now, you do want to see what planet is in the 8th or 3rd and what kind of aspects are being made. So this is very general. That's why in this video, I'm just giving a couple of the main aspects that I look at, but there's so much more, especially when it comes to the ruler of those houses and where the rulers fall and what aspects they are making. That's to say that this video is not the end all be all of psychic psychic abilities and certain things in the chart to look for, but these are the first ones that I would look for when I'm looking at a chart. I do have planned to have an interview with a medium and be able to show her chart as an example, and be able to also show you guys a couple other charts so that you're able to see how I'm making these connections with these people that have these abilities. So if that is something that you're interested, go ahead and let me know down below. Thank you so much for joining me on this quick and short mystical journey today. If you found any of this content helpful, if you have any of these placements yourself, let me know in the comments down below and share your experiences. And as always, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with anyone that you know who may be curious about the connection between the spiritual realm and astrology. Till next time, keep being curious.